Hi, this is my first week of speaking impromptu or speaking randomly about what I have in mind because for a long time I had something to tell you, something to tell the world, and I was trying different ways to tell you, but yeah, I didn't tell everything yet, but I'm trying. Different formats. It can be photos, videos, carousels, articles, Facebooks, TikToks. But for people to understand it, just one time is not enough. Even if you tell everything in one video, most of the people won't understand. So I thought, come here, sit and talk to camera once a week. Each week, I'm going to come here and talk about just naturally whatever that comes into my mind. I just speak. So today is my first week. Okay, let's start then. Let's talk about latest topic. Yesterday, I saw a video of Donald Trump speaking, and he's saying that I think Somalia or Ethiopia in some country, there were 3 American soldiers who were killed. And Trump come into the media and says they were great souls and we gonna take the revenge on behalf of those great souls. Now imagine what a great soul is. You might have some kind of understanding what a great soul is. In my opinion, if those 3 soldiers who died, my deepest condolences, if those 3 soldiers with great souls, do you think that great souls want to have revenge? Do you think that great souls want to kill civilians in order to take the revenge on behalf of them? In my opinion, I don't think so. But Trump comes to the media and they are the ones who send those soldiers into the war as well. If Trump really feel bad for his country, he should have gone to the war, but he didn't. He sent some people, he just paid some people, humans, to go into war and they died. Do you think Trump is worrying? Do you think he has some attachment towards those people? I don't think so. They were doing their bidding for money. But at the end, their lives was lost. And so many lives in the world being lost due to actions of humans. At a period like that, how can just 3 souls can be great souls? And people who die in Palestine, the civilians who die in Ukraine, Russia, in the countries where the war happens, you think like those souls are not great, not much great? For me, each soul is a great soul. But great souls don't ask for revenge. They forgive, they let it go. They find solutions in order to not that happen again. So in my opinion, that's how presidents in the world, leaders, you might say great leaders, I don't feel great in those kind of leadership. Those leaders come into the media and justify their actions. When few American soldiers die, they can come into the media and say, I will take revenge from this whole country. And they start killing civilians and disrupt their economy and country. And later you will see that they go into that country and take those resources for money. So all this drama is for money, in my opinion. So war is, some people say, inevitable, but those are all ancient patterns, ancient fears keep repeating for this present day. We have solutions, but what controls media controls emotions in people's life. And one day, and I think yesterday, I saw another news that the commander in army, British general in army, come into the media and says that Russia, you can't trust Russia, and says they have plans in order to destroy you. They come into the media and say that to the people, and when they say that, people start fearing. The fear starts to grow in their mind, in their head, in their body. So when they go to the war with some another country, they can justify their actions. They can justify what they're doing for your money, the taxpayers' money, right? Think about this. Taxpayer, just you, ordinary people. You pay tax to the government, and government need to do something to spend your money, right? And they, the people who have power, control, authority, they have to do something in order to spend that money, and also when they spend that money, they need some cut as well, right? You think someone do something unless they make some money? I don't think so. Everything in this world exists because it generates money for some individual. So those army generals, they might be doing some bidding of some powerful people, we don't know. What they come into the media and do is spreading fear. When they spread fear, it's easy to justify their action. When they go to war with Russia, they can say, see, we told you Russia is planning something, but maybe they are trying to defend themselves. How can you judge who wants to fight and who don't want to fight? Who wants to fight, who wants to defend? You can't see. But over the centuries, you know that weapon manufacturing is a huge business. Even in, I think, the World War I period, famous bankers have said they are supporting both sides of the parties so they can make profits. What they have invested mostly in weapon manufacturing companies. So still, like some kind of people, few people in the world was living without any trouble. They're spending millions and they're living a luxury lifestyle thanks to war, because their business, family business, or something they inherited or something they have involved is weapon manufacturing business. Once they get into that business, what they want to do, they want to improve their business. So imagine if you are a weapon manufacturer and if you want to improve weapon manufacturing business, you want to market your product. To market your product, you have to have a problem. You should have two parties fighting each other for centuries over beliefs, right? So what they do is they have a lot of money, profit, right? From that profit, most companies market themselves, advertise. But weapon manufacturing companies, they advertise as well. They use media, they use people who are in power, control, they make friendships with them, and they pour beliefs into their heads and create conflict, maintain conflict. Say, we don't know who are in the paycheck of those weapon manufacturers. Let's assume there are armed generals, there are leaders, political leaders. If you give them $1 million, just say 1 million, you plant a problem, conflict, or belief in their heads, and over the time it grows, and they come into the media and they plant that fear, plant that seed of fear into your head. So they are just actors who come into the media and plant the fear, and then countries are fighting each other. When two countries fighting each other, who benefits? Not you, my friend, not you. You know who benefits. So for them to benefit, they have to market, they invest some money in few people, and those people come into the media and plant fear. Even let's think about the incident happened in Australia few days ago. If you hire two people, let's say two Muslim people, you pay $1 million each for two Muslim people and train them for 6 months, and you ask them to go and shoot few people, 20, 30. Do you think you have an attachment towards those people, or you have attachment towards some greater cause? So when they pay and they come and shoot, right? But the media, that's also in your paycheck, they highlight that story as two Muslim people are shooting Jewish people, and from that media, from that news, it creates hate and conflict between two nationalities. And soon after that happened, Netanyahu, Israel Prime Minister, come into the media and said, "See Australia, we warned you. When you accept Palestine as a country, we warned you. There will be consequences like this. See, it happened." Now that incident approved what he said before. So who get the benefit? Muslim people? No. Jewish people? No. That same people who are controlling and who have power and who need a reason to fight. So when these kind of things happen, they can come into the media and say, this happened, now we have to fight, we have no option. And ordinary people have no power to do anything. And fear have grown into your heart as well. And your silence approve their actions, so they can freely kill people and take resources from other countries and occupy land. Their main focus, if you think they are more attached to occupying lands and improving their power, broadening their power. So if you have attached to those things, do you think you have attachment towards those 15-20 people who were killed? I don't think so. They can be same nationality. If you think about your nationality. There are millions of people in your country, right? If someone drowned in a river, do you feel something? If someone you don't know, but if your uncle or your friend drown, you feel something, right? You feel sadness. So if one of your family were murdered in a war or conflict, you feel hate, you feel angry, you want to do something. But if someone who you don't know happened something to them, you don't feel much. It can be sad at first because you are human, they are human. But over time, you will get over it and you will approve what your leaders doing in order to stop that, because you don't have any attachment. Now think, if you don't have much attachment towards your own people in your country, do you think some people, some leaders, because they are human too, they have an attachment towards those 15-20 people? Do you think if one of their family member was in that place, do you think they will still do that? I don't think so. So when some incident happen, you have to ask yourself, who is benefiting most of this? Who have the most financial gain from this? If you find to the root cause, you will see who is doing these things, who want to create a conflict, who want to manufacture a drama in order to justify their actions. You will see who the real culprit is. So war is something, in these days, war is something people are creating, generating in order to maintain power through division. That's a fucking huge business. In the ancient time, we fight because we couldn't understand each other. We couldn't understand other languages and we wanted to survive. But right now, there are so many ways we have to survive. Now Europe, I don't think they have much ways to survive, so they want to get assets from other countries. And I saw a news that European Union is trying to get money from Russia. They're trying to seize the Russian money. Why? They are after money. They are not after peace or conflict resolution. If they really want peace and conflict resolution, there are so many other ways. But they really want money because they are in their life, they are more attached to their money. Think about yourself. Think about your attachment. What are your attachments? As a human, you are mostly attached to your body, right? If something happened to your body, you react because you have survival instincts. After that, humans are attached to their family and friends. How many people? 20, 50, 100, 200,000? Not even 1,000. How many people come to your wedding? Maximum 500 people from both the sides. Let's say if you have attachment towards 500 people. That's it. You don't feel attached to other people. You know they are human, but you don't feel attached. You might feel attached, but I will tell you other attachments. And then humans are attached to their beliefs, their habits, their behavior patterns. If someone attacked your belief, you get hurt. Then you want to counterattack. You tell your beliefs. You're trying to prove your beliefs. Beliefs are something that we are not sure. We don't know. There are things you know, there are things you don't know. And in the middle, things you believe. That means you don't know. It's for sure. And if humans fight over beliefs, do you think that's a smart move? You think that's something people with wisdom do? I don't think so. So we are attached to our beliefs and we have survival instincts to our beliefs. And then we are attached to money, worldly resources, the cars, the house, anything that you bought with your money or something you inherited, something that supports your lifestyle, you are attached to those. To maintain your lifestyle, you need income flow. If you are making 100 million a year and you don't want to go less, you want to go more and more. When it ends, it never ends because numbers never ends. So you are attached to that numbers that never end. And then you are attached to titles. If you are manager already in a company, you don't want to be assistant manager again. You want to go up, you want to be a CEO. You want to be greater than manager because we are attached to that title. You don't want to go down. Now think from a perspective of a leader, of a president. If they have power already, do you think they want to lose that power? If they have authority right now, do you think they want to lose that authority? I don't think so. So they are attached to that. And rest of the people in the world comes after that attachments, come after those attachments. So if you have order to those attachments, right, most people act on behalf of their priority of the attachment. If there's someone who you don't know, let's imagine those 20 people who killed in the Bondi Beach, and there's a $1 million that supports your lifestyle, that you know it's going to make you be stable for next 10 years. You value that $1 million over those 20 people. That's what happened in these attacks and this terrorism in the world. It's not about peace or solving conflicts. It's about power, greed, money, and attachments. If humans are attached to each and every human in the world before their worldly resources, titles, and beliefs, people think twice before they do something in order to make money, right? And that understanding comes from, that awareness comes from understanding your attachments. Humans need to understand their attachments, what we attach. If you think that $1 million is greater and have much more value compared to human life, You have so much to evolve. This humanity have so much to evolve. If humanity is evolving, think in which direction we want to evolve. We want to repeat the same cycles of war and conflict, the same fears that our ancestors have repeated, or do you want to evolve better? The choice is yours. The choice is yours. The world leaders, they are already old. They keep repeating the patterns because they have practiced those patterns for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. If you think the president of America is 70 something, he have repeated the same pattern consciously for more than 50 years, you can say. After 25, your life is your choices. Your beliefs you have repeated. You think that those 3 soldiers who died are more in value than the 100,000 civilians in Palestine. If you think like that, you are not a great soul, and I don't think great souls want that to happen to other humans. So my friend, if humans are evolving, we have seen so much war, conflict. Imagine why we are evolving. If we are evolving, in which direction we want to evolve? Do you want to evolve towards love, compassion, sharing, kindness? Or do you want to evolve towards destruction, hate, anger, fear? The choice is yours. And your choice is mainly manufactured, or that choice is mainly affected by your surrounding, what you see, what you hear, and what you experience. So when you see any media, those are some people like you as well. So if you see some media, and if you're trying to build your beliefs from those information, think twice. Is this media trying to make division among people, or is this media trying to unite people? And if they are not trying to unite people, you are looking at the wrong media, and close that media. Don't ever follow that media. You have the choice to do it right now, and each and every person have to act. Unless we act, the same patterns will repeat. Same media will try to divide people, to create conflict, so they can have money, they can have power. Some people, even media, do that because they get paid. Look, find out who they are paid, who pay them, who are their main investors. When you find the link, you will see it, everything. It's not much hard. The thing is, you individually, you think you don't have much power, but there are millions of people who think the same way, and who control those media and people in governments. Not even 1 million, not even 10 million, including military and governments, not even 5 million, I would say, but there are millions of humans who feel the pain of human, ordinary people just like you and me, thinking the same thing, but we don't know what action we have to take. If we unite, imagine how easily we can bring the peace to this world. So my friend, that is it for this week. It's getting dark as well. So I hope I will come here again to talk again in a week. I hope I will remember. And it was fantastic to talking in front of camera. Take care.